Welcome to the best show about relationships. Become a free member on my website to get my free 1-hour video, free relationship advice, and so much more. Subscribe and share this video with everyone you know, and let us go ahead and begin, shall we? All right, what do we have here for our first comment? Behold, everyone, we are stepping into the unknown world of dating hacks. We're going to hack into the mainframe of the matrix itself. So behold, we begin with our first comment. Dating hack. Just stop going on dates with people you don't actually enjoy talking to. Stop saying yes to people who don't reciprocate energy in the ways you need someone to. And that if you wouldn't want to be friends with someone you went on a date with, they're probably not a good life partner. Call me crazy, I don't know. All right, so, a little bit of sarcasm on the lowest level, but is that really a dating hack? Or is that just common sense? You be the judge. Let's see what we have here. Stop going on dates with people you don't actually enjoy talking to. Okay. Isn't the purpose of going out with someone, getting to know someone because you actually enjoy talking to them, so you pursue to get to know them better? Not much of a hack. That sounds like common sense to me. Stop saying yes to people who don't reciprocate energy in the ways you need someone to. Yeah, well, you have to look for what you want in someone. That's the whole point of getting to know someone. It's not a dating hack, to reciprocate the same energy. I mean, unless you're desperate and you don't care, you just want to get in their pants, like the trash that you are, if the shoe fits, then, this is pretty much common sense number 2. So strike 2. And, if you're talking about hacking, give me something that I haven't heard before, or like the whole world hasn't heard before. Like, give me something, man. You're talking about hacking. That's beyond regular program mindsets. You try to get into the database, into the central processing unit of a person's brain, into that pineal gland, that cortex. Come on, you got to give me some type of vision here. And that if you wouldn't want to be friends with someone you went on a date with, they're probably not a good life. Well, yes, you have to establish a solid friendship to begin with. These are not hacks, people. This is called common sense. Let's go ahead and move on to the next comment, shall we? What a snooze fest. I was really expecting some Matrix level hacking here. Some Hackerman action. Dating hack. Women will never approach you first. They will only signal their interest. Pay attention to body language. All right. We have here, ladies and gentlemen, something that nobody knows of. This is a complete hack. In the opposite way. Somebody is a really hack here. He's not a hacker. He's quite a hack in the negative way. This is not a hack. This is not some type of secret. Of course, women will signal their interest, like preening their hair or, shaking their leg in a good direction, not in a kicking motion. There's little signs here. Maybe licking her lips. This isn't hacking material, people. Body language, that's as primal as it gets. That's as ancient as it gets. It doesn't get any more ancestral than that. This is very human. We're talking about, we're not in cyberspace here. We're not in the future. I don't feel like I'm wearing futuristic goggles, seeing into the future here. Where exactly is the hack? Where's the unknown knowledge? But you see, it's really silly because people go online and they say, dating hack this, dating hack that. Men and women, by the way. It's so ridiculous these days. And I can't believe nobody's calling these people out for it. How absolutely atrocious these comments are. They're not even trolling. This is just like, hey man, this is the ultimate hack. As if they're presenting something that's mind-blowing, just new, and it's not. None of this is new. It's a complete joke. And that's why I'm doing this show on hacking, because you see this time and time again with dating hacks. It's nothing new under the sun. Women will never approach you first. They are supposed to approach you. I'm a big advocate of women approaching the men. That way there's no problems whatsoever. Because normally when guys approach women, they can get into a whole world of problems. If they're misunderstood, if they by saying something wrong, by maybe the wrong body language. And I'm not even talking about acting silly. I'm talking about having to walk on eggshells with women who are completely torn. They're so mentally and emotionally messed up inside that you might be a nice guy, but as soon as you say something that's doesn't ring a bell with them, that doesn't resonate well with them, now you are the enemy. You are now the target for her to dish out all of her past failed grievances on you. All the past guys that she's failed with, you're the new target. You're her punching bag. And this is why it's so tricky. So, you're talking about hacking. This is not a hack. Never approach you. Actually, they might approach you. You're saying never as if it's guaranteed. Wrong. And plus, I'm saying that women should approach the man. That way there's no misunderstandings. And, guys will usually say yes, unless they're just not into them. So women should actually be the ones to handle the rejection if that's what the case is. But when a guy approaches a woman, that's usually always the case. Yes, he has to be very careful what he says. And then she could just if she's a really toxic female, she can make up whatever story about you. You said this and you touched me here, call the cops. And a lot of guys are very scared to even approach women these days because of that. The false reports, the false accusations. Even if you go on a date with each other, you guys get really romantic, you guys do something intimate, she can either claim the next day. It is actually very dangerous. Or at the very least, which is still serious, sexual harassment. Or worse. But unfortunately, this is an unfortunate reality, and this is what has a lot of men scared these days. Because there's some really toxic females out there who want nothing but attention and to create bad situations. And so a lot of guys are scared to even approach women these days. So going back to this supposed hacker advice here, because remember, we're accessing the CPU of people's minds here. Women will never approach you first. That's false. They will only signal their interest. Okay, that's nothing hacker material here. And body language is as archaic as it gets. Let's move on to the last comment of the show, shall we? Unbelievable. I just have no hacker knowledge as of now after 2 comments. And believe me, there are tons of these types of comments. I just picked out the 3 most different ones that I could find. Dating hack. A woman obsessed with social media is a woman obsessed with attention. You think? That's quite another common sense statement there. Really? Are we really hacking right now? Whatever you do will never be enough for her. Well, how do you know that? Just because she's obsessed with social media doesn't necessarily mean that maybe she's thirsty for attention and you finally give her that attention and it is enough for her because she's so desperate for attention. And I've seen this comment quite a few times just by itself, not even on a hacker level, which is a joke, by the way. Will never be enough for her just because she likes social media. That's not true at all. If guys like social media and they're always on social media, maybe they're very lonely. But as soon as they get an opportunity with a woman, they don't want to go on social media as much because now they have the attention that they were seeking. You ever thought about that, hacker man? I mean, you're supposed to be a hacker, a dating hack. What happened? She'll always look outside for even more attention. What are you even talking about? What? You're the opposite of a hacker. It's time to toss the keyboard away in the garbage bin. This is not hacker level material here. Avoid dating such women. You think? You don't have to avoid, women who are obsessed with social media. They could be toxic, but they could not be toxic. You can't just say because you're on social media providing exclusive, never before seen, universally not unknown dating hacks. that you should be selling for $10 million. These are just mind-blowing hacks, right? So you're on social media. Should women not go up to you? And maybe if they think that you're on social media, that you're obsessed with, attention, which you're not. You just like social media. So they should stay away from you? You see, when you flip the table, you turn the table around, it doesn't make any sense, does it? And that's what these hackers don't understand. It always works both ways in most cases. Women obsessed with social... How do you know they're obsessed with social media? Maybe they're having fun on social media, but does that really necessarily mean that they're obsessed? If you see a person who skateboards really nice or plays football really nice and they share it on social media, does that mean that they're obsessed? Are they obsessed with social media or obsessed with the sport that they're displaying and exhibiting for others to view and to like and follow and all that good stuff? Because social media is nothing but attention gathering. What are we even talking about? I've seen so many people exaggerate what other people do online. They say, oh, you're so obsessed. You're a grifter. They just exaggerate like crazy. And it's like, it's not even like that. Might as well call doctors and surgeons and lawyers all grifters because they make money doing what they love to do as a profession. Where do you draw the line? But when people start to make money online and offline, oh, they're all grifters because I don't like them or I'm jealous of what they do. And the same thing could be seen here. Oh, women are obsessed with social media. No, they're not. They're having fun with social media. If you're obsessed with social media, you're constantly checking your phone, constantly checking your computer all day, every day, because you don't have anything necessarily better to do, either at the time or you are chronically addicted. They even have measurements on phones and all these devices where it logs in exactly how many hours you spend on this app, on that app, on the internet in general. And yeah, if you're into that, it might look horrific for you, your stats. But in the end of the day, are you doing it just to pass time because maybe you're in a long distance relationship and that's all you have as a tool? Maybe you don't want to watch a classic television and you're using your internet to watch television. There are so many excuses, and legit excuses, by the way. You can't accuse somebody of allegedly being obsessed with social media and obsessed with trying to gain attention. You can't throw around such accusations. This is not a hack. These are all false statements. They don't apply to everybody. Does everybody who uses a knife in the kitchen a potential murderer one day? No, they're using the knife in what it was designed to be used as, a kitchen knife for the kitchen. Can they murder somebody one day? Of course they could if they're a complete psycho and they lose it, right? But you're going online saying, well, all the women are obsessed. This is just somebody who's coping with his loneliness and trying to give relationship advice very poorly. No exceptions, nothing whatsoever. Simply avoid dating such women who you think are obsessed with social media and are desperate for attention. Wow. Talk about the anti-hacker material here. This is the complete opposite. There's no hacker material. We didn't find anything hacker worthy in this show today. And trust me, the hundreds of comments that are the same pretty much all across social media with these dating hacks are either complete common sense or doesn't apply as much as they think it does with these blanket statements, which are actually dangerous because you just create more fear for people out there to not approach each other. The dangers will always be there and the possibilities will always be there in a negative way, but you can't go around assuming everything and then giving people advice like, here's this, I got the ultimate hacks, man, the dating hacks. Like, wake up from the Matrix. You're still asleep. So if you made it this far, it's time to become a free member on my website. You'll get free relationship advice, access to my 1-hour video, and so much more. Also, drop a comment with the topic that you'd like for me to go over in a future show. Much love, everybody.